Hello, my name is DeeAnn Lensen, and welcome to the Rise, Grace, and Growth podcast. I am very, very excited not only to share the fact that we are launching our Grace and Growth book, and our podcast is really growing rapidly, and you can access the podcast and the book information from the QR code here. But without further ado, I really want to introduce Mary Pichette, and I'm going to tell you first about her, and then we're going to just let her tell you some amazing information today. Mary Pichette, oh my gosh, I have so much respect for this woman. She's a former law and criminology professor, a business owner for over 35 years, in 10 years educating on the cost and consequences of identity theft. For 10 years, she has been educating on the cost and consequences of identity theft. And she is the regional manager for Western Canada for prepaid legal services, which is Legal Shield and ID Shield, which I'm very proud that she's going to share information about today. And for many, many, many years, Mary has been an activist for social justice. And one of her quotes is that everyone deserves equal access to legal and identity protection. Oh my gosh, Mary, let me just stop the share so we can hear from you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for all those kind words, DeeAnn. I really appreciate it.
Well, you deserve it. You are the real meal deal. And yeah, just very so much respect for
Thank you.
you. And so I have a couple of questions for you. Tell us what is identity theft, and then please tell us why you consider it such a grave injustice.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think when people are learning about growth and grace, and I have no doubt anyone listening to the podcast, and welcome everyone, the curiosity is, well, what does this have to do with all the other incredible learnings and contributions from your other podcasters? Identity theft is taking everything that is you and duplicating it into another you, a virtual, complete, and total you. So it's going to represent your values, your legacy, and yes, all of your financial assets. It's going to represent who you are. We might think in a nutshell two things. Well, that's not going to happen to me. And well, who cares? It's been on forever. Well, this is why it so much matters. And then I'll talk a little bit about what it looks like and how it happens. When you want to erase a culture, when you want to erase a system of beliefs, the first thing you do after you capture them or capture their brains, I'll talk about that in a minute. And by that, I just mean put them to sleep so they ignore their problems. And then you erase their identities. You assign them a number or a symbol. So we can think of the Holocaust where people were given their gold star. And then later, even that was removed and they were nothing but a number. We can think of residential schools across Indigenous populations all over the world. We in Canada, you know, take great responsibility for that. So that it might not and it will not repeat itself. But it's an occurrence that happened all over the world where Indigenous populations were endeavoring to survive in the face of being conquered. We erased their identities. So we'll go on and on about that. But I think what the other part of that that's very significant in the context of grace and growth is we want to erase beliefs. We want to erase the influence of beliefs. Then we take over people's identities. Now, I can only imagine the listener is thinking, well, what does that have to do when my credit card gets stolen? And there's a great truth in that. So identity theft involves your date of birth, your social insurance or social security number, involves your passport, your driver's license, all of your health insurance numbers, your gym card, And yes, your financial transactions, your bank accounts, your credit cards, your debit cards. It involves who you are online, your emails, your usernames, but your reputation across social media, your business's reputation. So first of all, let's understand that that is your identity. Your identity is not merely your financial transactions. There are three primary ways that identities are stolen and put together. They're very creative. We're all familiar. We hear the word breach and terrible things happen. Well, the first thing we do is we get your data, or the cyber thieves take your data, and they'll take your date of birth and maybe your social insurance, social security number. And then they'll connect that to a made up address or somebody else's address. And then they'll connect it to a driver's license. And with that, they will go and start securing credit, predominantly in your name attached to your SSN, SIN numbers. That we call a synthetic identity, meaning it's put together through a number of different pieces of data sewn together. The other way that your identity is, then we build on that, is all the information that everyone puts out there on social media. We show pictures of our fantastic vacation in Mexico. In those pictures, we said, I'm traveling with my brother and sister-in-law from blah, blah, blah. We name them and we're celebrating their birthday. I mean, and then we take pictures of our children at their soccer games, wearing soccer t-shirts that say where they're located, what team they're on, or their school pictures, all of which gives information and labels them as well. And by the labeling, I mean, it gives us an identity, tells us what school they're going to, possibly the grade that they're in. And then we put a little more information when we attend a funeral or we attend a class reunion. We think nothing, well, let's put my favorite foods, the restaurant I'm in, and it slowly adds up. And then we add a little, please pray for me, I'm sick, or pray for my grandmother. Every single one of those posts, and I'm not saying don't post them, but I'm saying be thoughtful, is telling a cyber thief about you, which strengthens their ability to go out and represent who you are. I can talk about the foods that you like. I can talk about the vacations you've been on. I can talk about your family members. So the data that I want to steal is all so readily available. Of course, I'm going to tell you about my politics or my religion. Not of course, but other comments I may make, the things that matter to me, which starts to represent my values and starts to represent my legacy.
I have a question. So when you say the data that I want to steal, you're talking about the cyber thieves that are
Yes.
looking for data
Yes.
in order
Yes.
to be able to steal it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And now recently, we've heard a lot more and there's been a lot more investigation just to give so it's the fastest growing crime in the world. You make more money from the sale of people's identities than you do from the sale of drugs. I can sell you 1 pound of cocaine one time, but I can sell your identity over and over and over. And so there's an incredible amount of money that's being gained through this sale. So the FBI put out their statistic indicating that over $20 billion over 10 years, I'll grant you it was over 10 years. But the 20 billion wasn't stolen from companies. The 20 billion was stolen from you and me. That's what the cost of identity theft has been to the average North American.
Wow.
20 billion. And that's the $10 here, the $50 there, the 100,000 on the line of credit, the occasionally, buy a house, 20 billion. Everything, well, that, those are big companies, airline companies, oil companies, retail companies. No, that's just you and me.
And you told me about someone you knew that their identity had been stolen years and years and years ago, and they went to try and get a loan, and they couldn't. And somebody who couldn't get their driver's license. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And these are, so on an annual basis, 1.3 million children's identities are stolen across North America. That's children under the age of 6 annually. When is the last time, listeners, you checked the credit score or the credit reading of your grandchildren or your 2-year-old or your 3-year-old? We don't do that. Now, we're born and given a social security number since the mid 60s. And so I just need to get that information. Now, in countries like Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, they've discovered massive farms, slavery farms, where people have been human trafficked into these farms. But what they're doing is they're putting computers at computers, and all they do is clickbait. It's called clickbait, click, 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 search, search, search all over the world. They're trained, just enough to go in and translate the algorithms and the coding. And that's the level of theft that's going on because of the incredible value of identities. I mean, one more thing to consider, as I started out earlier to say, talk about erase their beliefs and you'll erase their influence. So the most in-demand piece of identity, the gold standard of identity, is passport. And yet only 36%, it's risen a little bit, of the population on the planet have access to a passport.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of countries like, we can think of any country. 50% of the US population does not have a passport. That doesn't mean they can't get one. I'm just saying, in a first world country, that's the level at which people do not have passports. But start thinking of refugees, think of countries at war, think how hard right now it could be to get a Ukrainian passport, a Syrian passport, a Nigerian, anywhere, Sudanese, South Sudan, any of these countries, there is no bureaucracy to give out passports. So just as the example, the gold standard of identity, and only 36% of the world's population have access.
And you have a solution. You
Yes.
have support for this because I'm getting freaked out. But I already have the support that you offer. But anyway, I'm still getting freaked out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think and thank you for that, as I say, I think what has to happen is, number one, we need to better educate ourselves on the costs and consequences of identity theft. Once I get your identity and I become you, financial theft is the primary motivator. I can open a line of credit, steal, just take everything from you. The second is that your identity is now something I can buy and sell. And I can sell it legitimately to pollsters, to retail, to marketing companies. But do you want that information sold, and are they selling the correct information? So what do we need to help ourselves? Well, we need a very effective monitoring system. So Thomas Chapman, who is the CEO of Equifax for 2005 to 2015, said, turning on and monitoring your credit score as a means of protecting and monitoring your identity theft is like turning on your smoke detector on Saturdays. It's totally useless. And so we're told that constantly. Well, monitor your crediting score, monitor your credit score. So no, first of all, you need a system or a service in place that is monitoring all of your identity. As I mentioned earlier, passports, driver's license, insurance companies, credit cards, library cards, gym cards, and all the obvious social insurance and financials. But you also need a service that is going to be monitoring, with your permission, your identity online, your reputation. So if you have identity protection services, and many people tell me, oh, it's included in my insurance package, it's included in this, it's included in that. I want to say, what is it? Have you ever asked what it is? People just think, oh, I take it for granted. But the most important part, which is part of the services that I offer through ID Shield, is restoration. Once your identity is taken, it needs to be restored to pre-theft status. Across Canada, there is no competition for that part of the service. Companies offer resolution. Everybody wants in on this problem because it's the new business problem. And so therefore, small businesses grow up around it. But you must ask, when you say, oh, I've got protection, is it include full restoration? So ID Shield monitors all the things I've mentioned, including your reputation online. With your permission, we will monitor and ask questions about all of your social media. But when your identity is taken and someone uses it, we will provide a private investigator, not an algorithm or an AI agent, but a private investigator who will do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes, to restore your identity to pre theft status.
Isn't that the biggest difference? Because
Yes.
with everything, every other company out there,
Yeah.
if you have the problem, they'll kind of hand you a book for you to do it, and it'll take months and months and months and
Yes.
months.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a resolution service. So you're provided support. You'll be offered 24/7 support, somebody on the phone telling you how to go on the dark web, telling you to hire a lawyer to get help. So and so these are the services that are there. Why is this so significant? I'll finish up with that. And it's this. When your identity is stolen and someone uses it, you're assumed to be guilty. No matter what the situation is, there's an arrest warrant out for you. The house is bought in your name, but you didn't buy it. There's a car theft ring in your name, but you didn't lead it or steal the cars. You're guilty. And that's where my passion comes in. No matter what, you're guilty. And now it's up to you to prove it. So you go to the police and you say, what, 3 words? That's not me. I didn't do it. That's the only defense the average citizen has when their identity is stolen and someone is using it fraudulently. That's not me. Now go and prove that. Go to the police, and the police aren't equipped. It's not that they don't care, but they're not equipped. There's no system in place. There's not a single system of justice in place to look after you once your identity is stolen, unless you have something like Identity Shield, which has 24/7 emergency access, so that when you're stopped at the border because your passport's on a no-fly list, when someone comes at your door to arrest you because you're accused of a theft, a bank robbery, and now you tap your app and you will be given a private investigator that will go to work with you. Because you go to the police and they say, well, who took your identity? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't have this problem. And so you need the expertise of highly qualified professional, and that is justice.
You know what? When you say this, two things pop in my mind. One, the preventative aspect of this is so, so important, what
Absolutely.
your program offers. And the other thing that's popping up for me is, well, I'm going to also need a lawyer.
Yes.
And I'm going to need to have something affordable in that fashion as well.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Well, and I think you just said the word affordable. If I cannot afford my Identity Shield services, if I cannot afford a lawyer, then I do not have access to justice. If it's not affordable, it's not justice. We all know the color of justice is green. The more money you have, the more justice you have. There are two justice systems, one for the wealthy, the 1% and 2%, and one for the rest of us. And I mean the rest of us. I don't just mean, people living in abject poverty.
So the
No
saying,
longer do
liberty and
people access
justice
their
for
rights.
all,
Yeah,
liberty and justice for all can
absolutely.
once again be true and valid.
Yeah. And if it can't afford it, it's not justice. So with your Identity Shield services through our ID Shield, it's $14.95 for an individual to do all the things I've spoken of. And it's only $29.95 to protect you, your partner, and all of your children.
A month.
That's affordable. And that includes all of our restoration services, which, by the way, if you go and hire restoration services after your identity, typically they start at around $6,000. So you want to be thinking about this. Why? 2 reasons. One, protect your identity as protecting your legacy, your beliefs, your values. It's protecting who you are, what you want the world to know about you, and what you believe in. In the context of grace and growth, this is very significant.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? What do I stand for? I want to protect that. I want to put a guard around it, a shield. The second is that I need to have the peace of mind that no matter what happens, I've got a professional that's going to come alongside me and they're going to do the work and they know how to do it because I don't.
I love it. I'm going to
Yeah.
share a slide because there's you're giving away some wonderful things here as well. And I just need to go here and put my glasses on so that I know what I'm doing. Sorry for the delay. Oh, it's just right here.
Yeah, so I look forward to hearing from listeners. They can send over an email or a message through WhatsApp. We want to protect you. We want to protect you because it's good business for us. But the most important and significant is we want to provide affordable access to justice.
There we go. Okay. I'm going to let you go through this, Mary. Thank you.
Okay. Well, put your legal shield in place. Put your shields in place to protect your identity. I provide a turnkey system for yourself as an individual and small businesses focused on identity monitoring and protection and restoration. But if you would like an 8-point checklist for your families or for your business to understand how exposed you are and what to do about it, I think it's very important that we work in the solution. No one can tell you they will never be breached. No company on the planet can tell you that. No cybersecurity specialist can guarantee that. Therefore, it's up to us to protect ourselves by ensuring that we have the peace of mind. Everyone deserves that, and it's all very affordable. So my email across the bottom is mary.pichette@gmail, and text or WhatsApp 778-838-2714. Use the QR code for more information. And I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to dialogue, answering your questions. DeeAnn, thank you so, so much for the opportunity to be a part of this podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to being a support to you, your family, to all of you that are listening in. Thank you for taking the time to grow yourself, to understand how important it is that we walk with grace and gratitude in what we do have, and then go forward and protect it.
Thank you, Mary. The QR code, you take a picture of that, and that will give you direct access to her email address. If you don't remember it, marypichette@gmail.com, just in case you misspell her last name. I'm going to stop my share. And Mary, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that you are offering not only the information about what can go wrong, but you're
Yes.
offering the ability to monitor it so that it doesn't go wrong. And then if it does, the ability to fix it, to restore it, and to get legal support as well. And I use
all of that in an app. So we do all of, the services are all there in an app. And as I said, I'm happy to answer deeper dive questions or just reach out, take care of everyone.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mary.
you. Goodbye.
So wonderful. Thank you.